Welcome to Waking Up America, the Not Morning Show. Today's news: the Twitter files expose a dangerous truth about the FBI, and the Biden administration continues to lie to the American people. Let's go ahead and talk about this while we still can. First story of the day here. This is a doozy. The Twitter Files 7 have come out. I do wish they would post them in articles instead of just on Twitter, but it's a lot to chew through. There is a huge bombshell here that we need to discuss. The FBI paid Twitter $3.5 million. Now, this is just 1 year to do its bidding. Okay. Daily Mail article here covers it pretty well. The taxpayers' money was used to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story and process agencies' requests to silence GOP voices as fury mounts over secret state censorship of the American people. Here's the important thing here, okay? They were not just paying them to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story. They specifically paid them to ban individual users from their platform. The most recent batch of Twitter files shows that the FBI paid off staffers at the tech giant to the tune of $3 million. The money was paid as a thank you as Twitter continued to dedicate staff to doing the bidding more to the feds. Emails show that Twitter's deputy counsel Jim Baker met with the feds to discuss suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story, which has been validated both by independent journalists and now these Twitter files being released admits that the FBI did know that it was real, it was not Russian collusion. They in fact spread that to cover it up, and the truth has been revealed here. Will people listen to it? I don't know. Hopefully you're watching this podcast because you really want to learn the truth. Let's dig more into this. Earlier, it was revealed that the former FBI lawyer turned Twitter general counsel Jim Baker helped to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story. He is littered throughout number 7 here. There is a lot of disgusting stuff from the Joe Biden laptop here. Hunter Biden with scandals related to Joe Biden. Here is the direct email from Twitter responding to their staff after receiving money from the FBI. Run the business, we made money. Jim, FYI, in 2019, Scale instituted a reimbursement program for a legal process response from the FBI. Prior to the start of the program, Twitter chose not to collect under the statutory right of reimbursement for the time spent processing requests from the FBI. I'm happy to report we have collected $3,415,323 since October 2019. This was sent in 2021. Okay, who knows what they made in 22? The censorship definitely ramped up in there. They incentivized a private business to censor Americans, protected under the First Amendment right. This is direct collusion with the government interfering with American speech. By the way, if you got this far in the podcast already, please follow us on Twitter at America Wake Up. Post there daily with several stories up to date on the news. You'll get a little bit faster than this podcast. Okay, moving on. This is absolutely huge. Deeper into the Twitter File 7, I posted up on Twitter about this. They had a direct correlation with the FBI. They, in fact, hired ex-FBI agents. There were several in the FBI who are responsible for censoring speech and had direct connections to the FBI. So as soon as they finished with the FBI, colluding with them, they were hired into Twitter to exercise banning of American rights. Okay, so as I posted here, the FBI was directly involved with Twitter's censorship, a direct violation of the First Amendment. Twitter files exposed direct involvement to cover up the Biden laptop and request censor speech of individual citizens. We must have a congressional hearing on this. We cannot let this disappear. This is easily the biggest news since Watergate. It is inexcusable if we let this pass by without some sort of repercussion on the intelligence community. Here is the email. Okay. Hey Jim, so excited you were here. I am no longer the newest BU alum. BU alum was a code word for the FBI's name here. Unfortunately, you can't see the full email. They give a list of the new people who were hired on straight from the FBI. And in addition to that, they set them up with a full Slack channel of previous and current FBI employees. So these previous FBI employees working at Twitter had direct communications with the actual FBI agents at Twitter through Slack, which is a business communication program. this is so on the nose, and I am so glad that Elon released it, because this news is absolutely insane. I don't know where we go from here without protesting in the streets and holding these people accountable. You need to contact your congressman. You need to contact your senator and demand we have hearings on this. This is the biggest abridgment of the freedoms of the people of the United States in decades. Okay. My small little rants over here. You got it. You got it. I will go ahead and give you a little bit of funny for the day as well. Babylon Bee posted up this article. FBI discovers building full of dangerous extremists organizing acts of terror across the country. It's the J. Edgar Hoover FBI building. In tracks. Okay. So, I mean, you can take solace in the fact that the FBI has done a great job of foiling FBI plots. So, I feel safe. All right, moving on to our next topic. Next topic of the day is the Biden administration, which is well behind the intelligence community coming after the American people like this. Posted up on Twitter, the gaslighting of this administration is unreal. The only person to die on that day was Ashley Babbitt, referring to January 6th, a protester shot by an irresponsible cop who is infamous for leaving his loaded firearm in a public restroom. The officer who shot Ashley Babbitt on January 6th was guilty of negligent discharge. He left his loaded firearm in a bathroom. I mean, you could tell this guy shot Ashley Babbitt for no reason. That is the only person who died on January 6th. No officers died on January 6th. That is the narrative that they keep trying to push, is that, oh, so many police officers and people died on January 6th. No. The only people who died on January 6th were the protesters and Ashley Babbitt. There were several old people there who got pushed over fences and had heart attacks from the police. Okay. That being said, let's get into the video here. This is from Jean-Pierre, easily the worst White House spokesperson ever. She has no idea what she's saying, and she spews complete bullshit.
First attack on our democracy since the Civil War, and January 6th was the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And the president has been very clear. Our democracy continues and remains under threat, and we all have a part to protect it. The committee has been doing important
Okay. First things first. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic with some democratic principles in our elections, but we are a representative republic. Direct democracies do not work. If you've been on Twitter, you'll understand why I say that. It is Alexis de Tocqueville's tyranny of the majority. You do not let the mob rule. As I believe it was Benjamin Franklin said, democracy is two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for lunch. That is why we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Okay. Second point. This is the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. Are you kidding me? Okay, we have had several national attacks in this country. One, January 6th had no one else die other than the protesters. Doesn't seem that big. We had 9/11. We had Pearl Harbor. I mean, what are these people doing? Like, we've had the White House burned down. In addition to that, there have been several protests at the White House where they, in fact, took arms and took over the Capitol. That has happened several times throughout history. It is not mentioned here. So this is more gaslighting from the administration. I cannot believe people go along with this. We have the January 6th hearings going on as well. Nobody with any sort of brains is actually paying attention to it, because we know it is just, a horse and pony show. It is unconscionable to continue with this narrative, and yet they continue to push it on the American people. But this is a common strain with this administration. They continue to lie. They do not abide by the law. They prefer to ask for forgiveness after the fact rather than permission. They're consistently being shot down by the Supreme Court, and they are lying to the American people because they know that you don't pay attention. The people are busy working their lives, trying to keep their kids fed. They know that nobody cares. They know that nothing's going to come of this because they have not been held accountable one time in this administration. Further, on this point of the Biden administration lying to us, I have a story here. This one is insane. Okay, the Biden second quarter jobs numbers off by 1 million. Philadelphia Federal Reserve Bank says. The The Biden administration vastly overstated its estimate that employers created more than 1 million jobs in the second quarter of this year, claiming historic job growth, when in fact hiring had stalled, according to a new estimate. Job growth was essentially flat in the second quarter, with only 10,500 jobs added for the entire country. Mind you, this information about this job growth came right before the midterms. So in order to buy votes, they lied to the American people again about how many jobs were being created and what the state of our economy was. That's not a mundane detail. That is insanely off. Okay, 10,500 versus over 1 million jobs created. They are blatantly lying to the American people. Let's go and continue here. Republican Senator Rick Scott of Florida called the development outrageous. Wrong by 1 million jobs, Mr. Scott tweeted on Friday. Joe Biden's administration has been lying to the American people about our economy to prop up his failed agenda. I won't stand for it. I'm requesting an immediate meeting with the head of BLS Gov. We need answers now. The economy created more than 1.1 million jobs in the second quarter, or around 375,000 jobs per month. That is what the White House said. They said 375,000 jobs per month in that quarter. Okay, so this is a quarterly estimate. It's not even for the full year. It's 1.1 million jobs they're claiming in 3 months. And they're off by 1,030,000 jobs. That is such an egregious lie in the face of the American people. The drop in unemployment all around the country is a sign of enormous progress and puts the U.S. in a better position to fight global challenges of inflation. You mean the inflation that you're causing, Biden? Okay. People need to wake up. We need to have this message spread. We cannot continue to live in this blindness and let people ignore the fact what exactly is going on. People feel this every day. Okay, there is no way you can live in this economy right now and not realize it is absolutely insane. Last video I covered the gas prices and the difference between the diesel and how the gas is being artificially deflated. And even with it being artificially deflated, I mean, you're spending a huge chunk of your paycheck every week if you commute to work, wasting it on gas. Okay, this needs to end. Next story. This is another example of the Biden administration lying to us. Okay, Biden claims the wages are keeping up with inflation. So let me go and play this here.
Last several months, wages have gone up more than prices have gone up. Wages have gone up more than prices have gone up.
If you are living in the United States, you know that is a blatant lie. Nikki Haley says, inflation rose faster than what Americans made every single month this year. And because of Biden inflation, we have less to pay for groceries and gas. Americans deserve the truth. 110%. I don't know how anyone who is working on an hourly wage looks at this economy and says, no, there's definitely no inflation. Wages have definitely kept up with the inflation. I mean, grocery prices have gone up almost 300% in some areas. Have you seen meat prices? The meat prices are insane. It's like $15 for a steak now, or more. If you want to go fancy, they're like $25, $50 for a ribeye. It's insane right now. Again, if you enjoyed watching this podcast, please consider following us at America Wake Up on Twitter. I am your host, Alexander Graves, trying to give you daily news. I do usually post up there memes and other daily news, so you'll get it a little bit faster than you would watching this video. But please be sure to follow and subscribe on Rumble here. And a little subscribe button up in the top right. Greatly appreciate it so we can continue spreading these messages to the American people. Hope you do appreciate these little rants, little news stories being delivered to you. We should have a great podcast, I believe tomorrow. We're going to be covering Disney as well as more wonderful, wonderful child groomers. If you are very interested, or you are a parent interested in the child groomer situation that's going on with these drag shows, please consider watching, I believe it is episode 6. Go and watch episode 6. That is it for me today. I will see you next time. Godspeed and keep it round in the chamber.